Everybody, it's Pandy and I'm playing World of Tanks. Today's video is going to be about the Jagdpanther, but I want to go ahead and go over one thing. Just want to give a shout out to QueerBeat2004 for making some decent videos in recent days. He's been making World of Tanks and Battlefield 3 videos as of late, and he's been a super long time supporter of my channel. He even actually won a gold contest. So what up, QueerBeat? Keep pimping along pimps, dog, and carry on. Now I'm going to be talking about the Jagdpanther. The video has been requested for a minute now, so without further ado, I'm going to do the Jagdpanther. What up, Jagdpanther? In August of 1942, the German army decided to pretty much take the Panther tank's chassis and develop it into a tank destroyer / assault gun armed with a long 88mm main gun. Plans and technical details for the Jagdpanther were still being put together by January of 1942. It had a planned production time of full production, I guess you can say, in July of 1943. In November of 1942, a wooden mock-up model was put together and displayed and pretty much looked at, but the final design for the wooden mock-up and the prototypes and what became the Jagdpanther were completely different. So the wooden mock-up did not realistically display what the Jagdpanther really would have been. In May of 1943, production was transferred to a different site because of the limited space available at the DB plant in Berlin. Full production scale models was presented to Adolf Hitler on October 20th in East Prussia, along with a wooden models of the Tiger II and the Jag Tigers. 2 prototypes were built before full production went into full effect, and these prototypes were put through trials and effectively accepted. There's no date known when they were officially quote-unquote passed trials. Plans for production was to reach 150 armored fighting vehicles per month, but the highest amount ever produced per month was 72 during the month of January of 1945. Only a total of 392 were produced, although there's been sources that stated that there was 413, 417, and 425 produced in total. Because the Jagdpanther was based off of the Panther chassis with a superstructure added to pretty much be an extension to the upper hull, pretty much just to house that 88mm main gun. The vehicle only weighed a total of 56 tons along with pretty much the monster size engine, the same engine that they stuck into the Tiger II. This turned out to be a very good weight to power ratio, allowing this tank to reach a total speed of 46 kilometers per hour. The Jagdpanther was also armed with the long-barreled 88mm PAC 43 L71 main gun, pretty much the same gun that the King Tiger uses. The 88 was pretty capable of destroying enemy tanks out to a range of 3,000 meters or 3 kilometers. The only disadvantage to this gun was the limited traverse, which was only 11 degrees left and right, -8 and +14 degrees. When it comes to combat action, the tank pretty much had to turn its frontal towards the enemy to engage them, which is pretty much standard for any tank destroyers on pretty much in World War II. One of the first combat actions for the Jagdpanther was on July 30th of 1944, where 3 Jagdpanthers ambushed a squadron of the British 6th Guard Tanks Brigade, destroying a total of 10 to 11 Churchill tanks within 2 minutes. 2 of the Jagdpanthers were abandoned due to their tracks being damaged and or have other unrelated damage and were unable to move. The 3rd ended up retreating, which ended the engagement. I can already hear it. There was Jagdpanthers and bands of brothers. They had one. Shut up. As a TV show, so shut your holes. Back on subject. There was only a single heavy tank destroyer battalion deployed during the Battle of Normandy, and they were used against the British on the Germans' extreme right flank. This is the only combat action that the Jagdpanther saw on the Western Front, while most of them were sent off to the Eastern Front. The only time that the Jagdpanther would see combat action on the Western Front again was during the Battle of the Bulge, or the Ardennes Offensive. One of the final combat action stories that the Jagdpanther had took part during their attempt to rescue the encircled garrison at Budapest. Out of the 42 issued out to these divisions that were to rescue this unit, only 12 were operational by April 1st and eventually took part in the defense of Vienna. After the war, a number of them were sent off to the French army till the 1950s. It is not known what happened to those tanks in the French army, but some of them made it to museums, and the majority of them were probably scrapped. And where are the tanks? Yes, this is most definitely better than the Jagdpanzer IV. The 105mm main gun that the Jagdpanther gets is one of the most upgradable possible guns a tier 7 tank destroyer can get. The thing hits as hard as the big gun on the Tiger II, and to boot it reloads a little bit faster. Since most German tank destroyers had the reload speed nerfed, it doesn't really have that overall advantage compared to the Soviet or American counterparts anymore. So when it comes to facing off against other tank destroyers, it seems more challenging. However, your gun still reloads faster than them, but you are going to be at a disadvantage because you already have the weaker firepower in regards to damage. I can't really say that because I can't really compare with the T-25, but when it comes to the Soviet tank destroyer, it reloads a hell lot faster. At least it feels like it reloads faster, but it doesn't have as much penetration, but it has more damage. So it kind of balances out in some fashion, but I would have preferred if the reloading for the German tank destroyers would have stayed put. That would have made them very unique, better within their own capacity. However, when it comes down to it, that 105mm main gun on the Jagdpanther is well worth the upgrade. It manages pretty damn well. Hits as hard as a tier 8 King Tiger, so it's well worth getting it and well worth the buy. Now, the armor on this thing was not as impressive as I thought it would have been. I mean, the whole front of it's all sloped up and everything. And I thought whenever I was going up against Jagdpanthers, I had a difficult time sometimes penetrating the lower glacial plate. Sometimes, or the upper glacial plate would be the correct term. But when it comes down to it, I don't deflect all that many rounds against enemy tanks when I play this bad boy. I held high hopes for superior armor against lower tanks, but it's not really exactly the case. It does manage fairly well, but it will let you down. It does fare pretty decent against only guns that only had a penetration of 130 or lower. Getting the liner helps a little bit purely for a fact that a lot of people will only shoot HE rounds for some reason, but it's a fact of life. The armor is decent, not great, gets the job done. You get some lucky breaks here and there. Lower tier tanks will have trouble against your frontal if they don't have a big high penetration gun, but that is far and not really all that uncommon. You pretty much will run up to someone who has a big gun. Now, the mobility on this tank is very comparable and competitive with the Panther tank itself. Pretty much moves around like a Panther tank, except it's a little slower, and manages to haul ass, turn, and pretty much get onto targets fairly quickly and readily. One of the main advantages of this tank destroyer is that it was based off the haul of a medium tank, just like the T-25. T-25, like I've seen, hauls ass, moves around, turns fairly quickly, just like the Panther tank, except the T-25 has that mobility advantage compared to the Panther tank, where it's a good bit more balanced. It does have enough speed and turning rate to be able to beat a medium tank performing that circle of death around you as long as the enemy's not hugging you. And if it has to go uphill and it's attempting to circle you, the more advantage for you to protect yourself by using that hill. Pretty much if I'm on a hill and someone's trying to circle me, I will try to shoot them when they are only trying to crest up the hill, see if I can track them, and all. The only thing that they can do is either go down the hill by going backwards, forward. I don't know, it's a catch-22 at that point because there's going to be other enemy tanks bound on your position, so you just gotta be careful. With the upgraded engine, you're very capable of making moves like a Panther tank. Just the weight of it will slow you down, but you move around like you're a medium tank, so you gotta be careful and trick yourself into thinking it's really a tank destroyer. Overall, the firepower is very impressive with the 105mm main gun. Great mobility, and it has decent armor that make the Jagdpanther very formidable against any opponents in World of Tanks. It does have a weakness in regards to armor, but it does manage pretty well with its low utility life. Allows you to bring your gun to bear without exposing too much of yourself and taking rounds directly to your glacial plate. Overall, it's a well-rounded tank destroyer. Anyone who enjoy playing tank destroyers will really like the Jagdpanther. It does manage pretty good, and hopefully it's very capable. And because this is a weekend video, I'm going to be giving away a $20 ultimate game card. Anyone who's interested in winning said game card, you must A, be subscribed to my channel, and B, post a comment down below maybe about the question of the video, which is, which tank destroyer do you think has the best gun within World of Tanks? My opinion on this subject is quite simple. I prefer the BL-10 from the ISU-152, and also it gets passed on to the Object 702. Not 702, 704. And I like the 155mm main gun that comes onto the T95. I just really like them because when you shoot, you're going to smack a bitch. The only thing I don't like about it is the fact that it shoots slow, but it's a fact of life. shit happens. So that's pretty much it. I thank everyone for watching. Make sure you participate. Rules again in the bottom, the description. And the last winner, the person that won the last ultimate game card, is listed down below. I'm gonna be sending that good friend, good sir, a message here soon. So thank you everybody. You take it easy. You guys have a good one and good hunting.